What is up, guys? Pulse Panda here with my fourth video for StarCraft as a noob. In today's video I'm going to be going over builds because while there's not a whole lot to talk about, I feel like they need to be discussed because a lot of new players have no clue what's going on. In my last video I briefly touched on having a checklist in your head and always having an idea of where you want the game to go, and for a lot of players that means a build order. So when you're approaching StarCraft as a noob, how do you find build orders? Well, you could do a lot of Google searches, and most of them will probably take you to imbabuilds.com, and I'll post the link in the description below. From imbabuilds, you can do Terran build orders, Zerg build orders, Protoss build orders, and then Wings of Liberty build orders as well, but it looks like it's only for Terran. They used to have it for every other race, but it looks like they took them down. So let's just pull up a build order here, just a random one for TVT, and I'll go over how these things look, how to read them, excuse me, and what to do with them. So this is a build order. This is the title, obviously, I'm sure you can tell. And through the build order, it's got a lot of stuff going on. This right here is the core build order. This is really all you need to memorize. The rest of this goes over, what the build is intended to do, what to do with what you scout, how to scout at what times with the specific build, different mid to late game transitions, and tips for certain matchups. It's also got some pros and cons, and it looks like this build is pretty strong aggressively. And I mean, I'm not going to go through super in depth. I want to make this video pretty short. It also gives some favorable maps, and I think the most useful part is the replays section. This is a bunch of replays and done by pro players, and it just goes through some of them. The pro player actually did a demo on the build, otherwise it's from a professional tournament game, and sometimes it's got day 9 review the build order, and I think those are personally the most useful for me, but he doesn't do that for everything, and it's not always going to be there. So back to the main build order here. Reading the build order, this right here is what it wants you to be doing. So at 10 supply, build a supply depot, right? Get an orbital command, start a medevac, right? And this is the requirement. So at 10 supply, if it's just a number, just assume it's going to be supply. So at 10 supply, build a supply depot, or usually with your 9th SCV, with one building makes it 10. At 12 supply, get a barracks, right? At 18 supply, and you have 100 gas, start a factory and get a second refinery, because you can't start a factory without the 100 gas. At 100, now these are a little bit different. At 100% factory, start a starport. This doesn't have a specific number to it, but it's usually around the same time every time. As long as you follow this early step, everything flows together. So you don't have to worry about a specific supply count for that. You just base it off where the factory is, production wise, or where the starport is, or where the medevac is. These bolded sections are usually going to be benchmarks, so at about 6 minutes, you're going to want to drop your opponent with 4 Marines and 2 Widow Mines. And at about 7.5 minutes, you should have your first Banshee, 10 Marines, 2 Widow Mines, a medevac, and 28 SCVs. This also assumes that nothing has died. Alright, so that's where you basically find the build order. Again, I'll post the link to this website in the description below. So I do want to pull up another thing here, and that's practicing StarCraft, or practicing the build orders, I'm sorry. So what I like to do is go into a custom game, and there's a specific mod I like to play. So you hit create game with mod, and do Harry's build order mod. And I'll write that in the description below too, so you can go back and find that later. What this mod does is it lets you restart the game while in the game with never having to recreate the game. I think that's really useful because it allows you to restart as soon as you make a mistake, and it builds your muscle memory to not make the same mistake. So if you forget to build your supply depot at 10 supply, you can immediately just restart the game and make sure you don't miss that supply depot. Eventually, that'll keep going until you hit every single part of the build perfectly. So if you get everything down to the last item, that means you already have everything down perfectly. So when you restart to get the last item down, you're once again going over and making sure everything else has a very solid foundation. So when you start up with this mod, everything is running. It's got the game timer going. If you look in the map, you can see a little bit of SCVs moving around. That's no big deal. This is your new game timer. and this will update accordingly. So you just choose whatever race, it doesn't matter. Although, one note, if you choose Protoss,
not enough minerals.
it still makes the Terran voices,
Not enough
as
minerals.
you can hear. So when you are playing the race, right, do whatever, you know, move them around, and you mess up, say you forget to build the supply depot, or you accidentally click there and all your SCVs are just chilling, whatever, just hit restart. Terran resets the game timer, resets your minerals, everything changes, you know, do all that. Super easy, just restart. One note, the end game graphs, while they won't matter usually when you're practicing a build order, they won't be accurate because there will be dead times from when you restart the game. So your end game graph performance isn't going to be very accurate. And that's pretty much all I have for that. One last thing before I go, Filter Starcraft, I'll post his channel in my description below as well. He did a huge shout out to me on stream. Thank you very much for that. It made me feel really good, and I've actually been kind of concerned with my quality of content, and that shout out really upped my confidence. So thank you, Filter. I'm re-shouting out to you. Also, I do want some feedback from you guys. I'm not sure how I'm doing with this series. I'm just kind of winging it. I haven't heard anything from anybody about it, and I want to tailor this to you guys. So if you aren't giving feedback, I don't know if I'm doing the right things or not, and if I'm not, then no one's going to watch, and then I'm wasting my time. So I seriously appreciate if you have any ideas, any comments, suggestions, concerns, complaints, leave them in the feedback. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. It makes this so much more worth it. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button. Also, if you enjoy more of my videos, you are more than welcome to subscribe. I try and release videos every Monday. Granted, school is starting tomorrow, so I don't have a guarantee that I'll be releasing Mondays, but I'm trying. But I will definitely be focusing on school before this. Again, if you have any comments, suggestions, concerns, complaints, ideas, or what else, leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear them, and I want to tailor these to you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.